When I was asked to be the MC here today, I didn't know who the guest speaker was going to be. I hadn't decided yet. We didn't even know if we were going to have a parade. But as luck has it, and God shines upon us, and we have beautiful weather, we were able to secure the comments of a gentleman that I personally believe is a unique patriot. He's well loved by our district and has the highest respect from me. And at that time, I have a bio of this gentleman. It would be here till tomorrow if I read it off to you, so I'm gonna let him tell you about himself. And at that, I'd like to introduce to you Pennsylvania State Senator, full bird Colonel, Senator Doug Mastriano.
Can I see the veterans' hands, please? Veterans, give it up for my brothers and sisters, please. Thank you for coming out. It is great to see you guys. What a long year it has been, huh? And it's great to be here on this glorious day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, right? It's fantastic. You know, when we come through these gates here, politics need to be put aside because we honor our fallen heroes. Those who made this freedom, our lives, and our nation as it is, have given it all up, the last full measure of devotion, as Abraham Lincoln rightly said. Those are the ones we come together to honor. I mean, at our feet here are veterans of the Grand Army, the Republic, Civil War veterans, some of whom even fought in the town here on June 30th, 1863. You know, we hear a lot about the Battle of Gettysburg, but really, victory at Gettysburg could not have happened without a victory in Hanover. Yep. And so we stand in the shadow of giants. We have a huge legacy, and our nation has been blessed with brave men and women across the generations. In this one instance here, Jeb Stuart had never been beat before, and he's riding north trying to catch up with Robert E. Lee on that sultry summer day in June 1863. And there's a small unit with Yankees in the area of Hanover, and Jeb Stuart thinks it's no problem. But that Yankee unit rides downtown audaciously and scares Jeb Stuart off. He thinks it's a much larger unit than originally it was. And so many good men lost their lives. In one case, a Yankee captain was on horseback, and his horse was shot down underneath of him, and he kept firing until both his weapons were empty, and then he surrendered. I mean, that's the kind of heroism we're dealing with. That's America. And even as we stand here and today, 20 years on, we have men and women in Afghanistan fighting the longest war in American history. And we're here today to say they're not forgotten. But more importantly, those who died giving up their lives for our freedom as a nation have not been forgotten. We stand here and honor them, and we salute them. And especially, we remember their family members, the Gold Star families, the Gold Star moms and dads, the empty chair. They're every season and birthday, every day they're reminded of the sacrifice and the cost, the high cost of this nation. I had the sad honor but privilege to be a casualty assistance officer when I was a captain in the Army so many years ago. And I was the guy with a chaplain going to knock on a wife's door. It was absolutely one of the most horrific experiences of my life, the sadness. And the chaplain, he never had done it before. And he said, "Okay, sir, you can do all the talking. I'll be here if you need prayer." I'm like, "Thanks a lot, buddy." And then I'm told that the spouses have various reactions when they see this happening. They know what this means. But I was told sometimes they can get violent even. And so we're bracing ourselves not knowing how she's going to react. I didn't know her personally. And she was sure that I was wrong. She knew her husband was a improvising special forces type and that he somehow survived. And I had to actually convince her, no, he's really gone. I mean, it was really sad. And we stood by her for some months to make sure she had everything she needed. But that's the sort of reality and the price of freedom that we have in our nation. And it makes my heart break that it's so easily forgotten by so many. And that you being here, standing on this field of honor in the cemetery, you do my heart good, because these men and women have not been forgotten. And Jesus said in the Gospel of John, Greater love has no man than this, but to lay down his life for a friend. So all of these heroes that have lost their lives over the generations and millennia, they're fulfilling actually a great love and service that even Jesus spoke about. And because of them, we have our freedoms today. Freedoms that we've taken for granted for so long, and reminded this past year at how fragile they are. But America is the last great shining light on the hill. And the job's not done.
Not hidden under a basket or behind a mask.
That's right. This light needs to shine. And how we do that is by living our lives in a worthy way. Living our lives in a way that's worthy and in honor of the sacrifice of the men and women going back to our founding in the colonial times till today, the global war on terror. And it's a heavy burden we carry, but we stand together here in honor, respect of our divergent political views, in honor, respect of our divergent choices in life, but we're Americans, and we love our country, and remember those who fell. I recollected the sacrifice up the road in Gettysburg. There was a Colonel Jeffers, and he had promised to protect his flag from Michigan to his governor. He said, "I pledge with my life to defend this flag." On the 2nd of July, 1863, he's going to see his flag in enemy hands. And he led a bayonet attack back to get his flag. He grabbed the flag, wrestled away from a Confederate officer, threw it over his shoulder to his brother and another friend to only be bayoneted through both his kidneys. And his dying words on a wheat field was, "Mother, mother." He's asking for his mom. 33-year-old man, regimental commander. All he wanted to see was his mom last time before he bled out. Colonel Strong Vincent from Erie, PA on Little Round Top, the 2nd of July, 1863. 16th Michigan was breaking. The 4th and 5th Texas were breaking the Yankee line. Looked like all hope was lost. Strong Vincent jumped on a rock, rallied the men with his riding crop in hand, and the 16th Michigan formed back up to only for him to be shot down dead by a Texan, and that he was going to die. And as he rode into battle that day on Little Round Top, he looked over to his captain and said, "Captain, I can think of no better way to die than die defending Pennsylvania." That's the sort of men and women that our nation and our state are made of. Those kind of men and women of iron and integrity, and they're not forgotten, and we have them here in our generation today. I know at times it might be hard to see that in these dark days when you hear loud voices of screeching and condemnation and judgment on those that differ with us politically. But remember those days. Remember those times. We deserve more and better. I remember the 1st Michigan and the closing hours of the second day of Battle of Gettysburg, 1863. All hope was lost. Mississippi and many other Confederate units were headed for the Yankee Center. There's no one else left. General Hancock saw a small regiment from Minnesota and told them to attack a unit far superior to them. They attacked and delayed the enemy for 15 minutes with only with 83.5% of the men dying or being injured in combat, the highest loss in Army history. That's the cost of freedom. They bought us 15 minutes so that we could have hundreds of years later on. That's the cost of freedom. So be heartened in these good days. There's men and women of honor, integrity, and courage that don't listen to the lies, don't listen to the condemnation and judgment or the hate, but we remember who we are as Americans. And I know, as I have driven across the state from Butler to Philadelphia, there's a new generation of Americans, whether they wore the uniform or not, they're going to serve their state in some capacity. And they're rising up and no longer standing aside because we deserve better. America and Pennsylvania is the heart and soul of freedom. Wherever there's a free people in this world, it's thanks to what happened down the road here in 1776, where a new light of liberty was lit, right? In Philadelphia. But it was still unfinished business, and we had a new birth of freedom in Gettysburg, as Abraham Lincoln would call it. And then, of course, on 9/11, we remember Flight 93, an adopted son of Pennsylvania from Cranberry, New Jersey, Todd Beamer. And when all hope was lost and a terrorist had his plane, what did he say?
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Pennsylvania, let's roll. Thank you, and God bless you all.